Hello there, Seraphim17 once again. This is my Uncharted 3 brutal difficulty video walkthrough. This is chapter 5, it's called the London Underground, and the combat's going to be ramping up a little bit in this one, so we're definitely going to be demanded of more than you have been so far. I think Uncharted 3 is the easiest of the brutal campaigns. I haven't played the first game yet, I hear that's the hardest, so I've definitely got a date with that. But I also think that this game is a slow starter when it comes to the difficulty. Of course, the fighting is only as challenging as you make it if you don't know how to do it, and so far we've come up across, what, 2 or 3 scenarios where we had to shoot our gun, and both of those scenarios you can die really fast because you're close to them and they're dangerous, but you haven't really felt the true sting of what this difficulty can do. And I need to put this forward. In the previous video I said that I didn't think that the brutal of this game was so bad, and that's true. I actually felt that this was kind of easy, and that is 100% a very subjective and perspective-based statement. Is brutal difficult? Yes, it's incredibly difficult. Difficulty is subjective. You will suffer in areas that I had no issue with. I will suffer in areas that you had no issue with. This is just the standard tenet of any video game. The reason I say that I found this easy is because I think your first campaign's the hardest. Whichever one you played first is the one that kicks your ass. Then afterwards, you come to expect the ass kicking, and then you get surprised when it doesn't happen. I wish I could track my death statistics in this particular game without the 1 for crushing, because I'd show it off, because a lot of people think when you say things on videos that a lot of it's lies or bravado and things like that, but I honestly think I probably died maybe about 100 to 120 times, maybe about around there. The most deaths I had was on that video I uploaded, and then the second most deaths I had was on the beginning of the caravan, because that bit was frustrating me. It was the only part of the game I got frustrated with because I hate the cover system. We're going to talk about that a lot. But outside of those 2 scenarios, I didn't really die too much. I mean, of course, I died, but not in the same way I died on the second game. The second game beat me up because I just wasn't prepared for it. But when you go through that trial by fire, you come to understand what's expected of you, and you come to understand how it plays. And I actually think that a lot of the scenarios in this particular game are a lot more fair than they could have been. And a great example, in contrast for me personally, would be, I think Uncharted 4 on Crushing was harder than this on Brutal. I would never have thought I would have said that coming off of Uncharted 2, but for whatever reason, the place where I am right now and my ability with these games, that's how I feel. Because there's 2 parts of that game that I hated, and I was there for hours, and I hated every moment of it. I got stuck on this game for 40 minutes, that was the longest, and it was a self-imposed barrier, because I wanted to try and stealth a section, I just couldn't do, because a guy on a turret kept spotting me, and then I got a checkpoint which stopped me from being able to do it, because I know you can do it, but that was the longest I was at any point in this recording, and that doesn't mean that I'm this godly gamer, guys. It doesn't mean that I'm the best player ever. It just means that I was fortunate in certain circumstance and I played the game the right way and everything kind of lined up. And once again, I completely... oh, by the way, folks, if you don't press triangle on that table just then, it will not trigger your ability to climb and pick up this deer head thing. And I was here for longer than I want to admit, but once again, snappy editing enables me to show you exactly what needs to be done so we can progress to the next fight, which is actually really hard. But as I was going to say, God Hand, guys. God Hand has literally instilled in me a sense of true challenge, and this game didn't touch that because it's night and day different, but I'll speak of that more. But this is hard, and it's horrible because your ammo's limited. So these guys take generally 2 shots to kill, or 1 headshot. But doing what I just did then took me like 20 attempts because my aim wasn't there, and this difficulty is very taxing. So this begins the strategy to end all strategies. If you've never played a third-person shooter before, there is a technique inside of them that enables you to have almost complete immunity when behind certain pieces of cover. You do not use the cover system. The cover system is exempt of this example. But if you go up to a wall or any kind of structure, a surface in front of you, where you can have your body behind it and your aim coming out the right of it, you will have the advantage in that piece of cover. They will not be able to hit you, you will be able to hit them. Exactly what I'm doing right now, and it works both ways if you swap shoulders, but on the left-hand side, you're at a natural disadvantage because I think it's not quite as effective because of the way the game is designed. And I first came across this as a mechanic in Gears of War. If anybody played Gears of War's multiplayer, that is a game that taught you how to exploit when you were vulnerable and how to put the smallest of hitboxes possible for your opponent to shoot. And if you played a lot of it, you got really good at it. And that is literally the mantra that's carried over to almost every third-person shooter I've played. Certain ones don't do it. Uncharted 4 broke from that. Last of Us also was different in some ways. Certain games don't use that same paradigm of design, but any games that do will give you a massive advantage. But this is your first firefight, and this is a tricky one too. So the threat here is to my right. If any of these scrubs run to my right and flank me, I'm either going to have to get good with my blind fire and put them down quickly, or I'm going to die instantly without realising it was happening. The rest of these people are going to just kind of move around, and you're going to get used to how they act, how they behave, how they react when you shoot them. I think the shooting in this game is worse than 2. If you were to watch my Uncharted crushing walkthrough, I would say the opposite. I would say that 3 fixed this, 3 did this better, 3 did these better. Wow, look out, look at that. He's behind me and I'm alive. Is he dead? No, he's not. He's still there. What is going on? These are the moments where you just gotta pray. And look at that. I got shot while I'm fighting. This doesn't usually happen. But the second you come out of a combat, you're gonna get shot. So I'll explain that before I go back to what I was saying. Whenever an enemy is close to you, they have this wonderful programming where they'll prioritise punching you than shooting you. It doesn't always work, and there are exceptions to this. But for the most, you have a safety net when you're close to enemies because they want to punch you. And you can use this to beat them. Additionally, if anybody's near you with a gun and you're fighting somebody, if they can't get a good shot, you will not be in any danger until after the fighting ends. So you need to use this to your advantage. It will not always work. There are moments where you'll get straight up screwed. But it can work, and you need to know that there's power in this game from being close to enemies. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? But it's true. Additionally, heavies. The heavies are actually pussies up close, and if you can get close to them, you can save ammo killing them. The only one who's exempt is the ultra heavy, the biggest dude with the thickest armor. He has this auto bullshit counter that I was trying to beat, and you can't beat it. It's impossible. But at the beginning of this spawn, 2 guys climb on that tram, so make sure you take the guys out and then use this piece of cover to thin out the rest of the herd. Get your aim acclimatized and understand how the shooting works. You can push in the right analog stick to aim a little bit further with the rifles. It's a benefit of using a rifle, apparently. It gives you like a little bit of an extended aimer. But the aiming in this game, in Uncharted 2, when you shoot people, you got a guaranteed hit stun, a very visual cue to tell you that they were in a stunned animation. And you could do this by blind firing to stun and then aiming to finish. You didn't have an ocean of time to follow up, but you had enough time to react. You could have used it like you would in a fighting game to hit confirm. And I liked that a lot. In this game, they changed the way the animation systems work, so the enemies can get stunned, but they shrug bullets off. So there are times where you shoot them 5, 6, 7 times, but because they fucking want to go and run over there, they're not registering your shots. And it's really disjointing, and I don't know what it is about it. There are also moments where you put your gun and your aimer on them and you shoot and it fucking misses. Which is worthless in a game where your life depends on you making those shots. This extends to moments when you're in cover. You notice the third-person cover trick that I explained earlier, where you put your body in cover and you shoot out of it and you eke around and you get full impunity? Well, there are moments on this game where the collision detection on the objects in the environment is not honest. It's got invisible areas of effect that completely block your bollocks. There you go, your bollocks. That's bullets and bollocks together. No, but they cock block your shot. And it leads to wasting powerful weapons, it leads to getting frustrated, it leads to a whole host of awkward moments, and everybody will have this experience in this game doing what I'm doing. By the way, you know those guys with the red goggles? Don't bother wasting ammo on them. They're kind of just automatic fire people and they fuck off once you kill the other people. There's also a dude waiting for you on the left here. He killed me because I didn't know he was there. Do not let him do to you what he did to me, the cheeky bitch. Use the cover, shoot him in the face. But there are moments when you'll do this, guys, and your shot won't work. So you try moving out of cover to get a better shot, put yourself in danger, and then when you try and back up, you clip. You will collide against the cover, you can't get in full cover, and you'll die. Right now, anyone who's played this game on Brutal has had that happen to them, because it happened to me a bunch of times in several different situations. For the most, the game is great. You'll not have too many issues with collision, but every so often when it happens, you're going to die because the game is too punishing. Also, this looks kind of dark, doesn't it? I increased the brightness about midway through the campaign because I didn't realise how dark this was going to look on the capture. I'm hoping when you play it in like 720p or whatever on YouTube, it's going to look a little better than this, but on my preview window, this looks quite dark. That's another thing too. Have you had those moments where when the enemies are in cover and you can see the top of their head and you shoot it perfectly and it doesn't kill them? What is that about? Why do they do that? I love this game and I think it's fantastic, but coming back to it has expressed so many holes in areas that I thought were solid, and I think that's what Brutal does. Brutal is like a can opener. It will show any weaknesses in you and it just opens them up, like super easily, and the design is there naked for having holes poked in it, and that's exactly what this difficulty does. Like, the collision detection when you're trying to do the shooting around the cover can get you killed. The cover, with the stickiness of it, and sometimes he rolls, sometimes he goes in cover, sometimes he rolls to cover and doesn't go in cover, sometimes he comes out of cover because you might have stacked an input. These moments where you're wrestling with a mechanic that keeps you alive, that needed to be better, and I feel like it was in Uncharted 2, because I never had trouble with it on Brutal there. I had massive issue in the caravan on this game, because I just couldn't get the game to do what I wanted it to do, and I was getting really fucked off. And I never remember that being a problem, so either, I've got worse at the game, or, by contrast, the game wasn't as good as I was believed to think it was. And, as I've mentioned, guys, if you play this on Crushing, you'll probably never really notice these problems, because the punishment for being out of cover on Crushing is not high. On this game, if you were out of cover, you are either dying or in a state of getting back to cover feverishly because you'll die. It's very dangerous to leave cover. You'll notice I'm being very defensive. I'm never giving them a target to shoot. I am constantly keeping on top of where they're coming from, putting them down, trying to be as accurate as I can with my terrible aim right now. Because it's just suicide. And later on in this walkthrough, I'm going to do some bad things, and I'm going to recommend you don't copy them. I'm going to tell you what you should do, and then you're going to watch what I do, because I couldn't tell you what it was, but there were certain points in this game where they gave me a shotgun, and I just thought, fuck it, let's do this. I don't know why I did it. It's the most counterintuitive way to play on a difficulty where you die this quickly, but it worked. Every time I picked up a shotgun, magic things happened, and it made for some really entertaining footage. I don't know what it'll be as far as a walkthrough, because I'll generally tell you to get as far away as you can and be intelligent and shoot from a distance. But the footage will contradict this, because I run up to them with a shotgun and get in the face. And I've been taught by Gears of War 1 again to respect shotguns, because if you ever played Gears 1 on Insane, the shotgunners in that game, I've never been instantly killed from good, decent ranges like I have in that game. They remind me of the snipers in Halo 2 on Legendary. We're talking, you don't even get a chance, you're just dead. And it's like this is tricky too. Two people are going to rush you, and killing two people with no cover is a rather difficult task on Brutal. It looked easy, didn't it? It looked like I'm a magician with a pistol. I died there maybe 6 times. And it was really, really getting to that point where you're like, these are the funny moments of Brutal. The moments where, whenever the game puts you in a scenario where you have to kill people with no cover, it's just dice rolls. It's dice rolls of if you get a good crit, if you get a headshot, depending what the enemy does, all those kind of pieces of information. Right now, those people through the gates will shoot you, but they're not quite as merciless as the standard enemies, so they're going to be a little bit more relaxed when it comes to pushing up here, but you can still die because I did. So you'll notice Sully's having a fight over there with a dude. I think he's winning. To the right of where they were fighting, there is a piece of cover to go up against, and that's what we're going to do. I'm going to push forward in a moment, as safely as I can, behind Cutter, or whatever he's called, and we're going to go up against this. And once you do this, I think they're going to run away. Or maybe it's this one. Oh, maybe it's none. Damn it, you've got to get past it the traditional way. But once you get to the top of here, there's going to be an interesting little standoff where you hit this door. They're going to tell you to kind of defend. There's going to be a transition as we do this. There it was. And now all I'm going to do is put my shotgun on, and I'm going to use the cover trick again to kill anybody who wants to challenge my boomstick at this range. So he comes up, he comes up. The first shot of the shotgun's great for making them flinch. If every shot flinched like the shotgun does, this game would be wonderful, but it doesn't. And it's an interesting design choice, because to me, if you get shot, it should matter. I would go as far as to say is, it matters when we get shot at certain times. Like, when somebody throws a grenade and it's nowhere near you, and it knocks you out of cover, or it does that thing where you're still in cover and they can't see you, but you die for some reason because they could see you. That's a weird moment that we will definitely discuss, but like, we only get shot twice and we're dead. They don't. So we need them to respond accordingly, because if they don't, we don't stand a chance, and that's the truth, You need these systems to work to complement your playstyle to win, because Brutal will kill you without mercy. It does not care. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.